Welcome to Distance Learning with Miss Hasso. I teach sixth grade language arts and social studies. A little bit about myself. This is my 13th year in education. I graduated from Cal State San Bernardino with my BA in liberal studies, and I have a multiple subject credential. Teaching is my passion, and I feel very lucky to have a job that I love. This is my third year here at Sunnymead, and I'm the Kindness Club advisor. I have two boys, Jude and Joel, and I love being a mom and sharing pictures and stories of our adventures with students. Everything you need is in Google Classroom. Zoom link, Google Classroom. Daily attendance, it's in Google Classroom. Those weekly assignments in Google Classroom. Links to everything your child will need is in Google Classroom. When you're not sure about something, check out Google Classroom. Expectations for students is to attend and participate in Zoom. Please remind students to stay by the computer. Oftentimes they're on mute and have their camera off, which is fine, but then I go to call on them and there's no response. Makes it very challenging to get the engagement in the lesson. Pay attention to assignments and due dates. I tell students to be responsible and pay attention to those things. But if there's any challenges that can prevent your student from turning in assignments, let me know. I'm very understanding. I just need the communication. Ask questions, go to office hours if help is needed, and please be kind and patient to everybody. My office hours for Ms. Hasso, myself, is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 1:20 to 2:20, and then Wednesday mornings, 8:20 to 9:20. These are days all teachers are available to answer questions. Please log into the Zoom link for help. If the link's not working, please email me. If it's putting you in the waiting room for extended amount of time, you don't have time to wait, email me. A lot of times either I'm talking to a parent privately or a student, and I'm not able to let you in quite yet. So please be patient with that. Materials needed for class: a charged Chromebook, a college ruled single subject spiral notebook for social studies because we will be taking notes, sharpened pencils, pens, highlighters, and a pencil sharpener. If you have difficulty getting any of these supplies, please let me know and we'll see what we can do to help. Grades. Students will be receiving letter grades. Missing assignments are marked as a 0. Students can turn in assignments late. Points are taken off after 2 days. But if you communicate with me, I will not take points off if there's things happening in your home. And please keep in mind, anything you do share with me is confidential, and I do not share that information with other people. Okay, most assignments can be found on Google Classroom. Please do not use, please know we do use other platforms, but it is posted in Google Classroom. So I use like CNN 10, Epic, No Red Ink, ReadWorks, but I'll put, assignment and maybe they just don't attach any work. Okay, and then this is a breakdown of the letter grades, but we do have A minuses, B plus, A minus, those as well. How can you help? Give your child a quiet place to work for our Zoom meetings. Make sure your student knows which periods they need to attend for Zoom. A lot of times students get confused on what the schedule is because we are doing block scheduling and they go to a different period Zoom. Okay, check Q regularly, check Google Classroom, take a look at my Google site, and then contact me if you need any help or any kind of support. We're in this together. I don't want this to be a negative experience. I want to make this a positive experience for you and your students. So anything I can do to help you, I will. Make sure to check Google Classroom daily for any updates and then add me on Remind. That information is in Google Classroom. And of course, please contact me. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Let me move this right here. So the best way is through email, khasso@mvusd.net. A good way is through the Remind app. Send me messages. What's great is they go from your phone to my phone, but it keeps our phone numbers private, and so that way I don't have your personal information that you don't want. What's great is you can use Zoom. So using your student's account, come to my office hours. If I don't recognize the name, I'm not going to admit them, just because we've had a lot of people trying to get into Zooms that they're not supposed to be in. Okay, thank you for listening to this presentation. The raffle code, just so you know, for the end of the night for me is B13. B13, but I do have a few more things to show you here. I do want to go over real quick with you Google Classroom. So this is my first period social studies class. If you ever wonder if your student has anything due, right here will show any upcoming assignments. So they know today by 4 o'clock they have to do their TCI vocabulary. Now for you, when you click View All, it will show you everything your student has turned in, what has been graded and returned, and what is missing. That's what's great about Google Classroom. Okay. Also, if you want to know classwork, These are their assignments. I break it down by week. So for this week, so far, they have these assignments, and it will say when they're due. If you're not sure if your student turned it in, they can click and show you if it's missing or turned in or graded. Also, in under classwork, you'll find the Zoom link. You will find the syllabus. You will also find the daily check-in attendance form. I've asked students, even if they can't come to Zoom, if they could please fill this out every day so then I'm able to give them credit for attendance. Okay, and that's all right here under classwork. All right, another thing I'd like to show you is Clever. Okay, so when they log into Clever, they will have different favorites, but I also made a Clever page for our class. Here's the links for language arts and social studies. We use StudySync as our main curriculum for language arts, and then TCI for social studies. This also might have any other websites we use, like No Red Ink. We haven't started the Who's Reading program, but we will. But another program that we use that I wanted to also show is Epic. I would like all language arts students to be reading a half hour every day, and this is a great place to do that. So the class code is if they've logged in before, which most of them have with me, I did do it on Zoom, they just click here and they find their name. Okay. And then it gives them all the great stuff, all the great books to read. Right now, I'm not picky. I just want them reading. Okay, so if they could just be log in and just read for a half hour. Now, with Epic, unless parents make an account, it will not let them read after 3 o'clock. So there's oftentimes during our Zoom, I will make it part of an assignment, use the rest of the period to read. Or I'll say in the afternoon, read. Obviously on Wednesdays, it's a little tricky because we don't have the same afternoon, but there's plenty of time in those hours to please read. If not, parents can make an account and it will give them extra access. So please make sure your student is reading. I feel that's really important. In Google Classroom as well, if you go all the way to the bottom, I did share my Google site. So it's one of the first things I shared. Here it is, August 7th. If you click on it, I'd love it if you could bookmark this page. Maybe if you have a smartphone, you could put it on there. If you're able to bookmark it, it's a little more information about myself and our curriculum. There's myself, there's Miss Avery. I know we're teamed up this year. Like I said before, I am in charge of the Kindness Club. And then more information about me and my boys. Then in here we have the ELA. This is a video showing students how to get to StudySync. And then this is the information about Epic. If they're not sure, they all should, like I said, we did do it during Zoom, but in case they missed anything, here's the information. What's great about this Google site is I'm able to update it as we get more information or we're doing different things for parents and students to have as a resource. Here's how to get into the TCI textbook. There's a video for you. For student materials, I posted how to get onto Zoom, how to use Screencastify, and then, of course, the expectations for Zoom. I always make sure students understand they need to be responsible during Zoom. I would love it if their cameras are on, but I also respect their privacy if they don't decide to not turn it on. Be on time, have a quiet place, raise your hand. I do want students to raise their hand and not just unmute themselves. Be prepared, ask questions, pay attention, be respectful. And another thing is with Zoom, I want to make sure they have their first and their last name visible to me, or I will not admit them because I don't want to admit anyone that's not supposed to be in my class for student safety. My goal is to keep students safe, and I don't want anyone in there that's not supposed to be. So it's very important that they have their first and last name in the Zoom. If they try to come to my class and they're not supposed to be in my period and they're not on my roster, I'll send them a message in the waiting room saying, oh, you're in the wrong class. You need to go to your 4th period or your 5th period, whatever period they're supposed to be in. So if you have a student who's saying my teacher wouldn't admit me, maybe they're trying to go to the wrong class. And then also I have a schedule. So here's a copy of our block scheduling for you, because I know the schedule can get confusing. So it lets you know when they need to go to 1st period, 2nd period, 3rd. So they see about 3 periods a day, except on Wednesdays, they go to all their periods. And that is a resource for students and parents. Then I have parent resources. And again, here's my email if you need anything. You're able to contact me. And then here I put information about Q. Q is how we input grades. You can view Q and see if your student's attendance. It's a really great program. So that gives you information in English and Spanish. Here's my remind information as well. And then here's also my syllabus, what lets you know the expectations of the class and any materials students need, those kind of things. So if you ever need a reference, that's where it is. Okay, and like I said, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to what we have planned for distance learning this year. My raffle code again is B13, so you can be entered at the end of back to school night for the possibility of winning a gift card. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.